Alright, let's review our basic 2D shapes. 2D is two-dimensional, which means our shapes are flat, like these on this picture. So we're going to learn about these shapes today and see different ways the shapes can look. Here's the first 2D shape that we're going to talk about. Go ahead and turn to your neighbor and tell them what shape you think this is. Alright, if you said a square, great job. We know that the rules of a square is that it has 4 sides, like this. They're all the same length, and then they meet at 4 corners or vertices. So let's look at some other squares. Alright, thumbs up if you agree that all of these are squares. These are all squares. They might look different, but they all meet the definition of a square. They all have the 4 sides, the 4 corners, and all of their sides are equal lengths. Even though this one right here is turned on its side and it may look a little different, it's still a square because it has the same 4 sides that are the same length. They're equal, and it meets at the 4 points. It doesn't matter if we turn our shape different directions or make it the color different, or even things like this where it's a window. These are all squares because they have the 4 sides that are equal lengths and they meet at 4 points. Here is our next shape. Turn to your neighbor and tell them what 2D shape we're pointing at now. If you said rectangle, awesome job. This is a rectangle and it has 4 sides just like the square does, but go ahead and turn to your neighbor. What's different about this shape? Alright, the thing that's different is we have these 2 sides that are across from each other and they're both longer. They're the same size. And then there's 2 shorter sides. So the rectangle has 4 sides like the square, but all the sides are, we have 2 that are the same length and the other 2 that are the same. So we have 2 longer and 2 shorter, whereas the square, all of them are the same length. So let's look at some more rectangles. All of these are rectangles. They can come in different sizes and shapes and they can be turned different directions, but they're still all rectangles. They have the 4 sides, 2 longer, 2 shorter, and they meet to make 4 angles, or they have 4 corners and vertices. And they can even be where the longer sides are standing up tall and the shorter sides are on top and bottom, just like your front door or a classroom door have. If you notice on this picture, it's kind of cool. There's actually more than one rectangle. There's the one that makes the door. And if you look in the window, these are all rectangles. There's a rectangle here, another one on the door knob, and then even the mat is a rectangle. You guys are doing a great job. Let's move on to our next 2D shape. Our next shape is this one right here. Go ahead and tell your neighbor what shape this is. Yep, it's a circle. Circles are a little different because they don't have any straight lines like our rectangles and our squares do. Our circles actually don't have any sides, and it is just a round shape, where our other ones have straight lines to make up the shape. Our circle doesn't have any straight lines, it has curved lines, like this. So let's look at some different circles. Here are some different circles. Just like the other shapes, they can come in different sizes and different colors. They can even have designs on them. Like here's one you might recognize. A clock is a circle. A penny, maybe your favorite cookie, chocolate chip cookie, is a circle. Smiley face. This picture here shows that there's lots of different sizes that circles can be in. Even your dinner plate is a circle. So as you can see, circles are round and they don't come and make any corner points. Like our other shapes are square and a rectangle so far. They have their straight lines, and because of their straight lines, they have corners or vertices that we've been talking about. But a circle being a round object, it doesn't have any points, which makes it different than the other ones that we've learned about so far. Here is the last 2D shape that we're going to review today. There are other 2D shapes that we're going to explore more, but today we're just going to stick with these 4. So go ahead and turn to your neighbor and tell them the next 2D shape that we're pointing to now. Alright, this is a triangle. A triangle has not 4 sides like our other shapes here, and not round. It actually has, let's count, 1, 2, 3 sides, and then it meets at 3 points, whereas our rectangles and squares meet at 4 points with 4 sides. Our triangle is a little different because it only has 3 sides and meets at 3 points. So let's look at some more. Here are some triangles. And triangles are kind of cool because their sides can be different lengths, where we know our squares had to be the same, all the sides had to be the same length, they had to be equal, and our rectangle had to have 2 that were the same and the other 2 that were the same. Triangles can actually have different lengths. This one, all of them are the same length, and it's a triangle, but on this one, these 2 look the same, and this one's different. All of these have a little bit different lengths. These 2 are the same, but this one's different, as long as it has 3 sides that makes 3 points. It's a triangle. This picture is kind of cool because there's lots of triangles inside of it. And what you might be having for lunch today, pizza, is a triangle. And what shape is on it with the pepperonis? One that we just talked about. A circle. Awesome. Here's a sign you might see when you're in your car with your parents, and it's a triangle. And some of you might think, oh, it's upside down triangle, but actually, remember with our other shapes, it doesn't matter which way you turn it, it's still the same shape, as long as it still has the 3 sides and the 3 points. That's still a triangle, even though it might be turned a different direction. Alright, so let's review the 2D shapes that we talked about today. We have the, go ahead and say it with me, square, rectangle, circle, and triangle. You guys did a great job. Thank you for participating with us, and we will talk more about these 2 shapes and learn some more 2D shapes as well. Have a great rest of your day.